Hey guys, it's your bros here from Gold Dang Bros Gaming. Getting ready for Milwaukee Regional. We got this weekend. We're actually getting ready to trek out here in a few hours. But we wanted to bring you our special Milwaukee episode number 12. All right. All in one spot, too. All in one spot this time. So no Discord or all happy jazz with the videos. We got our other bro from behind the scenes, Eric Green, in today. He'll be playing in Milwaukee. We'll get into that in a little bit. But again, our goal this week is to try to get to 100 subscribers. If we can do that, we'll have some special prizes for everybody. We'll reveal that on our live episode at the regional on Friday, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, Milwaukee. Let's talk about Joltik Box for sure, because that is the biggest thing. Going to be our topic today. We'll get into it heavy later. Everybody, if you're not playing it, you're testing against it because live is making you do so. Not necessarily live, but the players on live. And the biggest thing is it's speeding up the game to counteract the slower, stronger builds. So that'll be our big talk today. But our weekend review. So from our team captain and main tester, how'd your week go testing this week?
I drove about an hour and a half from where I'm at to go do a cup. I played Dragapult Garde. I dropped one game out of the whole cup, and that was because I got turn 2 unfair stamp and angelited. You can't really come back from that. But and for those of you who don't know what the Angelite attack is, because EV box isn't super common because the cards are expensive, Sylveon EX has an ability, has an attack that sends 2 benched Pokemon straight to the back into the deck. Doesn't matter what's attached to it, what energies, what evolution, what stage. It just 2 Pokemon on your bench go back into the deck. So what happened for me was I got set up, turn 2, chased down the Flareon that they had because Flareon's kind of a scary dude for Goldengo. Got the KO, and they went, all right, cool, bet. Counter catcher, unfair stamp, Angelite, and I had no draw power, and that was the end of that game.
Seems to be about correct.
Played a challenge, did the same deck. Won the challenge, but I don't know how this deck does against Joltik Box like we were just talking about. It seems like the new guy on the block that you have to be able to play or beat. Mm-hmm. Yes, Garde is still the best deck in the format. Dragapult is still one of the best to play and will probably be first or second most played at Milwaukee. But those 2 decks hardcore lose to Joltik Box as long as Joltik Box sets up. That's its Maridon problem. Mm-hmm. Can I set up turn 2, or do I just lose?
So, Eric, you're excited for Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
You haven't been to a regional since Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, as I've heard.
So, how's your week in testing been? More so weeks leading up to a big event.
It's freaking so shaky. So I've been Polt for about a month now, and I was dead set on it till pretty much a couple days ago. I was testing the Joltik Box as soon as it came out. What regional? Not the last one, the one before when it got Monterey, yeah. And it did the share was maybe 3%, but it had a 60-something% win rate. The last regional it had 57, and the share rate was pretty much the same as Goldengo, 5%. That's what I was speaking about. The win rate's up there. So it had one of the better win rates, and I enjoyed playing it. Polt feels like it's freaking got a big X on its head and back and butt. So, yeah. Yep. So and that's really it. Now I keep with Polt, man. It was just I discouragement after discouragement.
We feel it.
Got to switch to Joltik Box, and I feel like it's actually playable, and I'm not having a miserable.
That's one of my bigger topics too. As someone who judges more than plays. One big thing about going into regional, yeah, you could bot it out and play what you feel like is the best deck and format, but how much fun are you actually having? Yeah. So there's always a formula I try to tell players to find. Find something in the top 5 that's strong, and find one of those that you actually like to play. Fits your play style. or the Pokemon you like, something has to have an attachment to that deck. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
it's going to be a bad day.
That's what it does. I mean, that's, with me for Pope, it was I'm an aggressive human being in nature. Like with my style of life, like that's how I am. I'm in your face, and it's with Pope now. You need to run it slow, and I'm the opposite. I'm trying to swing first, swing fast, and that is not how you win with that deck. So I realized that, and definitely needed to make the switch. And
so anybody out there watching that's thinking, how am I going to make these last minute decisions, and I'm trying to figure it all out,
just do it.
Run with what you got. Take the next 48 hours to put two decks against each other and see which one you enjoy the most. Not necessarily is got to be the best thing, but if you enjoy it, you will play it better.
100%. There are 3 major factors when choosing a deck for an event: comfortability, playability, and meta share. And what that means is, if you're comfortable on a deck, even if it's not top tier, you're going to play better than if I handed you the BDIF and you don't know how it works.
Absolutely.
Meta share is that it needs to be at least relatively competitive. You can't take Hydrapple and go face Dragapult and expect to win. It's just not happening. Same thing as if I handed you Charizard and then told you to go play against Chin Pao back in the day. It just didn't work right. You didn't have the win cons. But now, making sure that you are able to play it comfortable and its position in the meta are the 3 things you need to choose from. Like what happened with our guy over here. He chose Dragapult, was really good choice in the meta, was not comfortable with it because it's not how it used to be. 3-4 months ago, you were going turn 2 Rare Candy Dragapult swing.
Yeah.
Now you're going
Crystal and all that happy jazz if you chose that build.
Now you're going turn 6. Maybe we're going to swing with Dragapult because we've been dude locked and we're trying to set up a 1-turn win. So what did he do? He flipped to a more aggressive deck. Joltik Box is that thing. Turn 2, you swing it with Pikachu or Iron Hands. It don't get much faster than that. So remember, comfortability, playability, meta share.
Good thoughts, good thoughts. My week was a lot of work, so that way I can space out these 2 events I got pretty much back to back. So I didn't get much testing in, but definitely been looking over my side event stuff. Gonna be doing a bunch of fun stuff we'll talk about here in a little bit. But since that's the big topic, let's go ahead and get into Joltik Box. I'll go ahead and put up a deck list here on this video very shortly. But let's let the guys here talk about how they've found facing Joltik Box, playing Joltik Box, all that stuff. We'll go ahead and start with Tiger on facing it.
Facing it, it's the real win con for most decks for this is just Outlast it. It doesn't have a very good resource management. Most of them aren't playing recovery cards for energies or Pokemon. So your attackers, once it's gone, it's gone. Your energies, once it's gone, it's gone. So it does rely a lot on Blood Moon at the end of the game. So if you can just get past them swinging and having to use Blood Moon, and if your last 2 prize Pokemon is bigger than what Blood Moon can swing for, you're in a good spot. If they go amp Pikachu, you probably lost the game. So it's really just, can you manage yourself hard enough to withstand the onslaught of these lightning attackers?
All right, so Eric, you've moved away from Polt, like we've talked about already. Now we're working with Joltik Box, which only a week you played it, but like really hard as of today for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
How's it been going with Joltik Box so far?
It flows, and I feel like it's got a good matchup to, almost every matchup pretty much, right? Especially the tough guys, like Tiger mentioned earlier, Garde and Polt, like, does good against Tango. I mean, that's unless you like.
No, it does. That was part of our testing. That's good against Tango. But and we haven't really had enough games to see the fizzle out that Tiger was talking about. But I'm sure
I felt that on live. I'm
sure in the next 48 hours between us testing between now and Saturday, we'll figure out how he can manage that the fizzle out of Joltik Box, as we'll call it. But as we talk about Joltik Box, how does that affect the rest of the meta? So looking at top 5 for Milwaukee, instead of just coming out with our top 5, I'm actually going to throw a bunch of them out there that we think are in consideration, and then we're going to have our team captain over here rank them for us. So in the mix, of course, at the top, everybody's mind, you got Guardian Pult, Joltik Box, Terra Box, Dragapult, Dango Solo. You can put them together. I feel it's either Dragapult or Dango and something else. Poison Moon, Archaludon, Flareon, Zarpult, which is still catching some steam, and then Walls. So out of those 5, Tiger, we can start at 5 if you want. We can start at 1, wherever you want to start.
Let's go with popularity this time.
Okay.
Not best deck.
I got that.
Popularity, we're gonna go Dragapult. This is a combination of variants. Is going to be the number 1. Then I'm gonna put Joltik Box at number 2 or 3 for popularity. Number 3 or 2 or 3, as in the opposite spot, be Goldango. Garde will take probably 4th. And 5th slot for this event is a really weird spot. It's either going to be a counter pick, something like Blissey, something like I don't know. This is a really tough one.
Kind of wild card spot.
Yeah, no. The top 4 is easy pick. Number 5 is going to be an awkward spot. It's either going to be Raging Bolt, Blissey, something to just counter the counters right now. Like in our testing, I know as of this moment, I've got Moon as my go-to deck. It destroys Joltik Box. It can't. Pikachu doesn't do anything for you, and Iron Hands doesn't hit hard enough. So you kind of lose all of your big attackers. But you've got Iron Leaves and Galvantula. Yeah, you got Iron Leaves and Galvantula. That's true. But you still got to take 3 turns to set everything up. And if I've taken 3 prizes in 3 turns, you're not catching back up with a 2-2-2 prize race. So that's our go-to. Like I said, I think Joltik Box is going to be number 2 or number 3 most played deck for popularity rise. And hot take, Moon's got a better spread than people want to give it.
Okay. So my question for you on that 5, Garde is catching a lot of steam. Anybody on Twitter can see everybody's saying, it doesn't die. What's up with the 4 pick? So that's just my question. I'm not skeptical. I'm just asking for
the popular Garde is. If I was to put Garde would be the number 1 best pick for playability and skill level and skill ceiling.
Okay.
But it is such a intricate deck, and the average player won't play it correctly fast enough. So you're going to get a lot of ties. And that is not what you want to go into an event, especially an 8-round event. If you get 2 ties, going 4-2-2 does not get you into day 2. And we're not trying to do that. Everybody's here shooting for top spots, day 2s, whatever your goal is. Ties aren't normally in the thought process with that. So Garde might be the best deck for high skill level players, but the average player won't play it because it's too slow and too complicated to win. And then there's the other half of players, like Eric, it's not fast enough.
Nope.
It's not aggressive. Players get scared playing from behind. Sean, you've done it yourself.
I was just about to talk about what last night. So I assume that's what why he ranked it there with popularity, because that high skill ceiling, I should say, to play that and play it well. Well, he asked for Garde test. I was working nights, so I had tested with him. It was probably the worst Garde testing you could have had. I mean, maybe not the worst. I didn't know how to play the game, but I was definitely doing some things wrong, not necessarily doing them right. So in a way, that testing probably was counterproductive. And that's just a testament to say how if you're not comfortable with that deck, if you're not comfortable with playing it for 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds at a high level, especially if you do catch a winning streak, it's going to weigh down on you because you're going to roll back to your instincts, and the instincts aren't there. Obviously, with Garde, with Dragapult, even when I played it, It's the same thing. Like, it's when it was attacking Dragapult, I was on it. Now that it's slower Dragapult, I don't want to Badoo for 5 turns because I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Am I doing something? Yes.
Yes.
I know that. In that game against Guardi, or where I was playing Guardi, I had Badoo in the active against his Dragadango. I probably should have just kept Badooing. But instead, I saw prize cards. I finally was able to take some knockouts. I went to the knockout. Wrong move.
Yeah.
Too aggressive, too fast.
That's absolutely what I do as well. That's my biggest thing. I catch myself making plays happen and then being like, that was definitely, I did pull prizes, but that was definitely the wrong move for sure. And that's not.
Decks like Gardevoir and Dragapult that play heavy counter catchers, there's a reason why they Badoo for 16 turns, is because they want to get a lot of chip damage. They want to have all the pieces in their hand, so that way when they go unfair stamp counter catcher and then just go sprinkle, 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 and you've got nothing you can do because you KO'd their one Badoo, that's what they want. And a lot of players just don't have the mentality to sit, Badoo, Dracloak for 3 turns, sit, Badoo, Dracloak for another 3, and over and over and over. Because people like to play the game. Is Badoo going to be that oppressive in this event? I think this is the event that people realize Dragapult needs to play faster. We need to get back to the maybe one Badoo to give you 2 turns is fine. Get the candies back in the deck. Get the crystal back in the deck. Whatever makes it better for you. If these decks that are playing Joltik Box, Poison Moon, things like that can take 2 to 3 prizes in the first 2 turns, and you're sitting there, all right, Dracloak for 2, Dracloak for 2. I don't have my pieces. I wish I had a candy right now. Yeah, you're done for.
Back to the topic we were talking about with the whole topic of this episode. Is the meta speeding up because those slower decks are Badooing for 6 turns and players are tired of doing that?
Absolutely.
You know, that is a very, very good question. I feel that's what it is going. I guess we'll just have to have Milwaukee tell us the truth.
2 big Pokemon, 2 very important Pokemon that don't care about Badoo is Pecharunt and Joltik. So, if you want to play Badoo to this event, you better be able to deal with not using your unfair stamp because Poison doesn't trigger that. And Joltik's just going to load up all their attackers so they don't care.
All right. So, Eric, out of those top 5, what are you more excited to see play through today? I know Joltik Box, that's what you're playing, but
Absolutely.
out of what he talked about, let's say Moon. How do you think Moon goes up against everything else?
Just playing him and practicing him with Polt, and I mean he's still it was most of the time he's taking the win with that. So I know you do well in the Polt with Moon as well. Yeah.
Okay, so even from testing there, we got Moon getting some positive matchups going on.
I think you're seeing Moon so much more. Look, it's in Blissey. It's how many more other decks? You know, it's definitely catching.
Moon is a great attack. We've also talked about it with one of the other behind the scene members of the Godang Bros about how Moon could even make its way into something like Terapagos to try and help with the Guardi matchup.
Absolutely.
That it's a dark attacker, you're already using dark energies. What's to say, and you're playing, some versions are playing E-Switch. So what's to say you don't hit a Crispin E-Switch and then start swinging with a Moon out of nowhere? That can help fix the Guardi matchup that Terapagos is having right now.
Horrible in the Guardi, for sure.
Yeah. Tank Turtle don't mean nothing when they can snipe past stuff.
Yeah. What about Terrabox? So that's something else that was obviously left off that top 5 of popularity. I saw somewhere where people are talking about, again, in the Twitter world, you know how it is. People are talking about Terrabox might be in a good spot. What do you guys think about that?
And just won the Korean League or whatever.
Again, different cards and stuff like that. But because Terrabox was really hyped. I remember we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Devin won at full grip. Yep. He won at full grip and just tore up with Terrabox. Shortly after that, we saw a big drop off in Terrabox. How do we think it fares in Milwaukee? Is it falling off the radar?
Or pick back up, especially with the win.
It's going to pick back up?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people will pick it up because everybody's a fan of Wancho. Shout out Wancho.
Yeah.
But, like, it's in a weird spot. It's got a good matchup into Guardi and Dragapult. if it gets popped off on the first 2 turns.
Yeah.
If you go Fan Rotom for Hoot Hoot, Noctowl, Ditto, and you get the Ditto into the active to turn into a Water Pond, and they don't have an instant Iono to get rid of that Noctowl out of your hand, guess who's coming out?
Yep.
Crisp and Crystal, and you just swinging with Water Pond.
Crisp and Crystal on repeat is just freaking... Like I said it on our episode, watching Devin do it in that top 8 against the Goldango player who just didn't have anything, sitting there stream judging. I mean, it was hard for me to actually hold my emotion in because I was like, whoa, like he's just, oh, okay, boom. Oh, okay, boom. Like, what is Crispin after Crispin? And like, it just, there was nothing that...
Chaining Pikachu and chaining Water Pond are 2 very, very strong cards in the meta right now. Terra Boxes can do it the best. Now, chaining Pikachu's, Joltik does the best. But in the matter of the fact that Terra Box brain capacity is up there with Gardevoir, its problem is it's a bunch of big basics, so it's a bunch of 2-prizers. Gardevoir throws 1-prizers and plays from behind. Terra Box plays 2-prizers and is an aggressive AF deck. And its downside is the same problem it's had for the past couple events. Iono and Unfair Stamp just kills the deck.
Yeah.
If you can't search things out with Noctowl, you don't play the game.
There you have it. So that was more so a question. We honestly didn't have that on the script, but as we were talking and thinking about it, I did notice Terra Box was left off there, and figured it decided a little honorable mention as to why it has no placement in the top 5 popularity. So we've talked a good bit about meta, about standard, about main. What can you do aside from the main event? All right. So
You mean there's more than just playing?
More than just playing? Well, you can totally get your fill of Pokemon. Every week we'll be at Sides all weekend doing various different events. You know, getting more accustomed to all different things at Sides. There are a ton of events you can do. I guarantee you there's something for you at Sides. Whether it's Go, VGC, Pocket, Sisterhood events. My biggest thing that I wanted to talk about here was the introduction of these TCG standard events that they're running at the end of the day. So like Friday and Saturday, they're running them at 4 p.m. And Sunday, I believe it runs at 2 p.m. I'll have a link posted on here for all the times. But it's a cool 3-round event where you get prize wall tickets playing in the standard format, but you're not in a sweaty 96-person challenge, you know, where people are fighting for those points and prize wall tickets. Instead, you're kind of in more of a free-form, playing, fun kind of league atmosphere while you're also at the regional. So I've been telling these guys Friday, that TCG standard might be the best way to end the day. It might be a good way to test.
Heck yeah.
If you didn't get enough testing in, play against some people you don't know, see what the field throws at you.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, exactly. So now that we're talking about side events, since I got you guys on, I can talk about it for days. Eric, what's your favorite side event from, think back to Pittsburgh?
And I grinded the pods pretty good.
Pods?
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff when I left Pittsburgh. Yeah, that was when I think I not the VIP package, the one below that. So I had a bunch of points, and I spent them. Like I played Zard, and I did good the first day on Thursday at the Cup, 6-1, and then on the actual regional.
Good. It happens.
Yeah.
He got his luck out early. Is what it was.
Absolutely.
But for anybody that doesn't understand what a pod is you get players together. They have an 8-person and a 4-person pod variant. So if you've got some friends, you got 4 or 5 friends together, get together in a pod, go play together, play with some other people, meet some other people, and win some prize wall tickets. They have them in TCG, VG, Go, you name it. Those are running all day for pretty much from when sides open till right before the hall closes. Great way to get some prize wall tickets.
Yeah, the judge I had there, he was like, they were like giving out, he must have had I don't know how it works for you guys, but he had a stack of points. He was handing them my left and right, so I was staying at them pods for around him.
Yeah, Pittsburgh was a little different back then.
Absolutely, guaranteed.
Milwaukee, it will be a little different, but I mean, definitely a good chance to get prize wall tickets. Just be prepared to play a bunch, and like I said, pods are the way to go, especially if you got a group. You can get 8 people together in a pod. You guys can just run a pod, have fun with it, play wonky decks or whatever, and figure out the prize. At the end, you can have a good day.
Absolutely.
How about you, Tiger? What's your favorite? You don't do many sides, I
Yeah,
know,
I don't get
but
to do very sides, especially this season with day twoing almost every event so far that I've been to. Um, Pack battles are interesting. They're kind of cool. It's about the same amount as we were going to buy a pack anyway, but you go buy the pack, you play the pack battle, you might be able to win another set of points, get another pack.
That's awesome.
I would have to say though, they don't do them much anymore. But my favorite side event I did was the buy a box, win a box.
oh my god.
And what that was
Those went crazy.
for your creative deck builders, you paid the amount like MSRP for a booster box, and they gave you every player got a booster box, and you built a deck.
That's awesome.
You built 60 card
awesome.
deck out
That was
of
fun.
that booster box, and it was single elimination, and the winner at the end just got a whole other booster box.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So it showed off creative deck building within a still a limited format. But how many times have you opened up a booster box and you got enough playables to build 80% of a real deck? And that's what happened.
I mean, you win by just doing the event, I think. Because
Yeah.
first off,
Yeah,
you get a
right,
box.
booster, yeah.
You get to crack a box.
Absolutely.
And I love sealed, so then you build out of it. I do remember those events. Those were super fun. I really wish they'd bring them back. Maybe I'll see if I can talk to somebody about it. I'm not any pool or anything, but I can suggest that, hey, we try to work
Right.
at least one win a box in on Sunday or something when most of the players that are playing are in day 2.
Yeah.
You got a good bit of everybody else. I could see where that would work, guys.
And they don't lose any money on it. Like,
No.
one box gets given away. Oh no, we just had 16 people sign up for a buy a box win a box of the product that we have that we're giving away to free for prizing anyway.
Yes, so that's not a bad idea. I'll see if I can talk to a couple people. I'll tell you the one I'm excited about is one that I'm running on a couple days, and it's a new one. It's called the VG Booster Draft. So what this does is this takes TCG and VG and puts it into the same event. You're probably asking, how is that even possible? All right, so a little breakdown here, and if you're at the event, I'll give you the full breakdown. But what you're going to do is you're going to get a pack for your group of 4. You guys are going to open that pack, take out the code card, and you're going to pick one card out of that card. Obviously, take out the energy too. Take one card out of there, whether it's a Pokemon, trainer, whatever it may be. Then you're going to pass that pack on. That cycle is going to keep going until all the packs are exhausted. Once you have your stack of cards, you're going to go into your Switch and catch those Pokemon in the Switch, and then you're going to battle it out with the rest of your pod members with those Pokemon. Now, there's a lot more details as far as the item cards, the Pokemon that are available, but for that information, I want you guys to come see me at Sides, and I'll give you the full breakdown. But it's a fun event. They ran it last Atlanta, and there wasn't. Little people were hesitant because they weren't sure about how you're going to mix VG and TCG. But I think this event, we're really going to pop it off. We're going to have the right people in place. I've already got all the notes on it. I'm figuring out how to make it run with the most hype possible. If anybody knows me, you'll see why.
Rookie Judge.
Rookie Judge. So we're going to have VG booster drafts. They're going to be on point. And if you don't know what they are, come find out from me over at Sides.
Yeah, I'm not a VG player at all, but something like this seems casually enough but fun.
Absolutely.
That because you're not going to be able to grind out EV and IVs. You're not going to be able to have the perfect move set in 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
To catch, train, and set up your moves. Everything will get leveled up to 50, so I mean you don't have to worry about getting them high level, but to train the moves, to get the right nature. If you catch one and you're like, oh, I don't want this one because this nature sucks. I know that gets a little bit out of the casual side, but there's going to be some people that look at it that way.
Right, and those people will be making the decision: is this one Pokemon going to be my sweeper, and I need to make sure it's perfect, or do I just want to have 4 really cool, fun Pokemon?
Exactly. So it throws a good bit of complex strategy into something that's never been done before. So definitely come be a part of it. I mean, who knows? And plus you win prize points. So no matter what, you're going to win for playing. You're going to get a pack for playing, just like with the Ditto Draft Tiger was talking about. You're going to get cards because you could pull that pack and there could be a chase card in there and you may not even want to play with it. You take that card, it's your card now.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to figure out what you're going to build out of the other cards. But other than that, like I said, there's a whole side event schedule on the Gaming Gen website. I'll have it linked in the video like I did last event video. So much stuff to do. On demand all day. So even if it's not a scheduled or you miss a build and battle, there are other events to do. So other than playing and other than Pokemon, what are we excited for in Milwaukee, guys?
Cheese!
Yeah, these guys and the cheese. I'm not a big cheese fan. Not
I'm a
really.
massive cheese fan.
But being in Milwaukee, I guess a bunch of people are trying to get a cheese tour. I want to get a cheese hat. Hopefully I'll have a cheese hat for the next podcast episode. That'd be dope. That would be super cool. Okay, so I'm definitely getting a cheese hat for the next
Man won't
episode.
eat it, but he'll wear it.
I'll wear it. Well, I've been told to try some different textures, and if there's any place to see if there's a cheese on, it could be.
It will be Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
We have gotten some recommendations, and on our live video on Friday, we'll let you guys know what it's exactly where it's at and what it is to do to get this extremely special cheese stick. Apparently, there's a restaurant out there that does like a 2-foot long cheese stick
It's amazing.
for like $10.
Jeez.
That's insane.
You guys have fun with that one.
I don't know if you're supposed to eat it or what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
It's a 2-foot long cheese stick.
That's a share, buddy. That's a share.
Who said we getting cheese sticks as an appetizer? That's a meal.
Of course.
So other than cheese, Eric, what are you excited
I'm
about?
just being with you guys, dude.
Yeah.
I travel an hour here pretty much every weekend to come hang out with you guys and learn, and
Okay.
that's it, dude. You guys are my homies, so it's exciting. I'm
Yeah, we
excited to be
appreciate
spending
that.
the time with y'all and having fun. I haven't had a vacation in probably 10 plus years, so it's
Yeah.
like, this is like my vacation. And I'm going to see y'all too.
Yeah. Oh, New Orleans will be
Taking a
popping.
fan to that too, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
We will be sure to have probably a big podcast. We'll probably
Absolutely.
bring everybody together on that one.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fun. But no, I'm excited to be in. This is the first time I'll be in Milwaukee.
Same
I've
for
been
me.
on this
December.
like world tour this year. I think I've been to like 9 different cities. I mean, Canada twice, Puerto Rico. I'm sure we'll recap that. Puerto Rico. I'm sure we'll recap that at the end of the year. But it's all in the pursuit for Worlds. I mean, going no matter what. Fingers crossed. Emails are coming out soon. We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, I'm excited to go to Milwaukee. As soon as this is over for me, I go to Boston. So it's kind of like I don't want to act like it's not happening, but I've got to like keep multiple events in my mind in this busy month of May.
Yeah, our sneak peek for next episode, official episode, I will still be in Wisconsin, and this man will be in Boston.
At PAX East.
So we'll be having a bit of a scenery background change than our normal in our offices recording studios.
Oh, and definitely be sure to see more footage of PAX East. I don't know if anybody knows, PAX East is pretty much one of the world's largest video game conventions with tournaments and new games being showed and panels and autographs and card games. So I'm working as part of Pokemon at the Pokemon Play Lab, teaching kids how to play Pokemon, doing raids, some VG stuff. So I'm actually kind of glad I'm doing a little bit of VG here at this regional to kind of get a little more used to it, right? So definitely I'll have some videos up of the stuff I see there. I know these guys won't be here with me, but the one thing about the bros, everywhere we go, the bros are always with us. So you'll be able to see your own view of what's going on.
Yeah, I'll get you guys nice sneak peek video of the Great Lakes, and he'll show you some cool electrical stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and also what we'll be working on too, a lot of people ask for it, what do I do when I get to a regional? Where do I go? Where do I check in? Where do I pick up my mat? That is probably the most common question I get at the very beginning of a regional. Hey Judge, where do I get this? Where do I go? So in order to help alleviate some of that, I'm going to work on a how-to video that'll probably be up on Friday. I got to shoot it on Friday, so it's got to be up on Friday. But what I want to try to do is provide everybody one place to go to see, all right, this is where I need my ID and my player ID, and I can get my wristband. This is where I can go get my mat, and I can go get my promo. Little pro tip here. You do not have to wait in that long line to get your mat and promo right when you get there. Now, if you're excited, I understand. Please do it. Otherwise, don't wait and waste your time waiting for your mat in promo. They're going to hold on to them. They do not run out of them. You will get your mat in promo. If there's some cards you need to buy, there's people you want to test with, there's a side event you want to get into, please do that first. Sorry for that little side tangent there, but that was the other thing I'm going to talk about in that
Literally
how-to video.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to talk about in this how-to video, so that way it can help some newer players or people that want to get in the regional scene, show you where the vendors are, show you what to look for. You know, some vendors have more plushies and cool stuff. Some vendors are going to have more cards. Some are going to have the GLC ones you're looking for, the old stuff, and others are not going to know what you're talking about. I mean, so that'll be kind of what is going to be part of that video. Kind of, again, as we grow in this industry and become a community for everybody, we want to provide multiple aspects for our players out there.
100%. And to reiterate a little bit of what Shawn says, I'm a player, and I go to these events every single time. After I check in, I don't do anything but go to vendors. I don't pick up my mat or my card unless it's a mat or card I want in the deck or to use for the event. I pick it up on Sunday before I leave. They do not run out. Just to reiterate for people, they do not run out. If you are squeaking in Saturday morning and you have to get this last specific card to go into your deck because you submitted the wrong art or whatever, and it's too late to change deck submissions, it's fine. Go do that and pick up your stuff later.
I cannot stress that enough. We'll check out that regional how-to video. We'll have a lot of other pro tips in there. We've done this for quite some time now, and I've been making it a point to try to make it so that it can be effective and cheaper for a lot of other people. And that way you know exactly where to go. You can plan it out. Ask Tiger, like I said, 2 years ago when we started this, I'd plan a lot of things and we'd be like, we're thinking way too far ahead. Mm-hmm. Not really, because sometimes that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything else?
Oh, man, that's all.
Parking.
Yeah.
Parking.
This is one thing that we have been getting better
That's
about.
True, parking.
Looking for parking at your event.
Ahead of time. If there's an app, find the app. The app will help you get cheaper parking. ParkWiz or whatever that city uses, that might get you some cheaper parking. But yes, find your parking.
We figured this one out the hard way in Atlanta. Parking was cheaper than the Uber. And we also found out that using, like he said, an app for a parking lot literally across the street from the convention center was $9 when we spent $40 on an Uber. So check parking lots if you're driving down there or renting a car before you say, I don't know the city very well, I'll just get an Uber.
Smart.
A lot of times it's a pretty straight shot from wherever your B&B or hotel would be to the convention center because it's normally in the center of everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, calculate the walk. If you can find a happy medium ground where you can find cheaper parking and walk a little bit, I like to walk because I get to see the city. Sometimes you guys think I'm a little crazy about it, but
This man walks around with a camera 24/7.
yeah, I do. But like, how many times am I going to be able to see those things? And if anybody could see my camera roll, wait till I drop a video of all the places I've been to, and they'd be like, "Oh, where did this guy get all these pictures?" That's where I got all these pictures. But yeah, no, seriously, like if you can take a little bit and walk to the event and cut on some parking, big time. Always try to make these trips as cost effective as possible.
Also, people that are in between grounds, I'm too close to need an Uber for, but I'm too far to walk. Most of these bigger cities have the scooters that you can go get.
Yeah.
There's little apps that you can get to either get the scooters picked up or dropped off, or show you where they're at for you to walk to and go get them. It's sometimes just a trip down memory lane to drive a scooter around town. But yeah, they're not super expensive, especially for short distances. Mm-hmm. Give it a shot. If you're in that 20-minute walk or 2-minute drive and you can't really do an Uber and you woke up a little late, these scooters are good options.
Hop on a scooter. And then, yeah, the other thing is you just find it where it's at, drop it off right in front of the door of the convention center, because guess what? they come to pick them up. Well, not literally right in front of the door. Please don't take Shawn for that word. It's not my fault. Not right in front of the door. But you take it to the center close enough, and then that's obviously there for someone else to take it from there.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, that's all we got for you guys this week. We'll be excited to bring you that live finally. We had to go through some parameters on YouTube, but now we're all set to do live, and we'll be doing our first live at the Regional in Milwaukee on Friday. And again, if we can get to 100 subscribers, right up there in the corner, other corner. It's not reversed. On Discord, it's reversed. And I'm so used to pointing to that corner. But it's not it. That's that corner. But yeah, Lucky Draw Podcast on YouTube, at the Lucky Draw GG on Twitter. We're going to get more active with it. As we go to more events, we get more active with it. This May is crazy. As we round out the end of the season, I guarantee you we're going to be flooding stuff out there. We're looking to get streams running soon, but again, we're doing so much playing right now, it's kind of hard to get that set up, but we will.
Don't forget, guys, if you see any of us, myself, Tiger, Shawn, the groupie judge, and our behind-the-scenes man, Eric, just come say hi. If you want to get some testing in, we're going to have our decks with us.
Very much so.
Just GLC-wise, that's probably this guy.
Yeah, I'm working on a new metal. If anybody wants to test, come with me.
If anyone wants to battle when we get there, I'm down.
Anybody wants to battle.
Just come hang out with us. We'll find a table. You're more than welcome to come get some testing in.
All right, so on that note, guys, be safe. Have safe travels for all my Poke Pals out there. Stay lucky.
Stay lucky.